Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of D&D CR Exposed, and today we'll be looking at the Slayer for Bhaal, or the Bhaal Slayer. Take that as you will. Hopefully you're paying attention to the screen and not just listening at the moment, otherwise that's going to sound terrible. In any event, before we get diving into this monster CR deconstruction here, let's talk about the tool. You too can use this tool for free or donate if you feel so obliged to. You can grab this tool at my Ko-fi page at ko-fi.com/dndcrexposed. And, you can go there, check out the shop, grab the item for free, or donate if you like, and check out everything else that I'm doing. There's also some custom monsters, custom subclasses for some of the classes like Barbarian, Rogue, and Fighter, which I'm currently playing the Rogue subclass that I created right now and testing it out. It's been pretty fun. There's some other things in the works as well, and, check it out if you're so inclined. Some of the stuff is free, some of it, is a couple bucks, nothing too big. In any event, you can also see my Goblin Slayer progression for the Foundry VTT game system that I'm also building there. So come on, stop by, check it out, and see what you like. Alright, with that, let's get into the Bhaal Slayer here. That's an unfortunate name. Slayer Bhaal? I don't know. In any event, let's take a look at this. This is from Minsc and Boo's Journal of Villainy. This was also submitted by a viewer of the channel. I don't know how long ago it was, but you two can also either leave a comment on the video, which would be great to help boost the views or whatever for the algorithm of what monster you'd like to see, or go ahead and use the Google form, whichever one is fine. So let's jump into this and see what we got here. So for the Bhaal, the Bhaal Slayer, we're going to go ahead and throw in all of our stuff. So we have an AC of 9. We have a medium humanoid with, let's see here. That's going to be 22 hit points. And then we're going to jump over here and throw in the stats for 24 strength, 22 dex, 20 con, 14 intelligence, 16 wisdom, and 14 charisma. Now the only important one here is actually constitution. Beyond that, we have our 209 hit points as we see here for the average. And then we will move into the next section here. So we have two saving throws. So we're going to leave that at 0 to 2, giving us no bonus there for that. We have skills, don't care about that. We do have damage resistances of bludgeoning, piercing, slashing from non-magical damage. We also have damage immunities for poison. And since there's only one, we don't care about the damage immunities. So we will go ahead and throw in resistances, but I will tell you right now, because our monster here is a challenge rating 20, or at least it's supposed to be, having resistances is going to do nothing for the CR here. So as we see in my tool, for anything over CR 15, it immediately knows to apply nothing, and we get no bonuses for having these damage resistances, because honestly at this level, our players are going to have magical weapons anyways, or at least they should in theory. If they don't, well then this monster might be a little more tricky to deal with. Alright, now that we have all that out of the way, let's jump down into the traits for our monster, because nothing else matters up in here, I can tell you that right now. We have Assassinate. During its first turn, the Slayer has advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn. Any hit the Slayer scores against a creature is a critical hit. We might have something for that here. Let's take a look at our monster traits and see what we could potentially put in. So this is going to be a first round, and we have, technically we could say advantage on the ambusher here. The creature has advantage on attack rolls against creatures that it has surprised. So yeah, we do have that. We're going to throw that in here, giving us 1 effective attack bonus, which also does make the damage critical for the first round of combat. So whatever we do, we have to make sure that we add in a little bit of crit damage for that. So we will try and remember to do that. Next we have Devil's Sight. Magical Darkness doesn't apply, don't care. Mutable Form doesn't matter. Legendary Resistances, we do have 2 of those, so we'll go ahead and throw 2 in there, giving us 60 effective hit points. Then we have Magic Resistance, which is a common grouping here, so we will go ahead and throw that in for +2 effective AC. And then moving on, we also have Magic Weapons, which doesn't matter, and we have Prey. As a bonus action, the Slayer focuses on a single creature it can see within 60 feet. Afterwards, the first time each turn that the Slayer hits that creature, the Slayer does an additional 7 damage. Okay, bonus action on a single creature can see afterwards. Afterwards, the first time each turn that Slayer hits the creature. So we just get 1 more round of 7 points of damage. Try and remember that to add in. So we're done with our traits. We're going to come down into our combat workstation here, our workspace, and start getting into this. So we have claws, and we're going to say 13 to hit. So we'll go ahead and put in the 13 attack bonus now. And then we're going to get, let's see here, 16 average damage for 2d8 plus 7 slashing. So we're going to go ahead and throw that 16 in there. And then we have a Constitution saving throw or have its hit point maximum reduced by amount equal to the damage taken. So technically, we are doing double damage here because we can't, the player just can't recover from that. So technically, we're going to say 16 times 2 here. And then our multi-attack is going to be times 4. Wow, that is a lot. So technically, we're doing 128 points of damage every round, in theory. Then we also have some legendary actions. We have Savage Disengage. Yeah, okay. The Slayer, maybe that was supposed to be Slayer Disengage? Well, whatever. Disengages without provoking attacks of opportunity. If it moves within 5 feet of a creature, it makes a claw attack against that creature. So we'll go ahead and say, sure, we will take that and we will expect that to happen. And we could do that 3 times. So we'll take that times 3, giving us 96 points of damage. Finish. Cost. 2 actions. The Slayer attacks a creature that has been marked by its prey ability. If the attack hits and the creature has less than 40 hit points after the attack, the creature is reduced to 0 hit points. So right off the bat, we can just say 40. Because if it has 40 or less, or let's see here, less than 40 hit points. So actually we'll say 39. So we'll say 39, that costs us 2 actions, plus we can throw in an extra Savage Disengage if need be, for a total of 71. Now, it may not seem like a lot right off the bat, but technically this is taking a target out of combat. So this could be handy, but technically it is lowering our CR effectiveness. And then lastly, we have Ravage Form. And for this one, we have 3 actions. If the Slayer has killed a creature of CR or level 5 or lower, or greater, that it previously marked with its prey ability, in the last minute, it can transform into a Ravager form. The form lasts until dawn. So this is something that's going to come up later on to see if this is worthwhile. It might be, but for the time being, we don't have any way to quantify this, if this is a good move or not. So I'm going to go with a no. We'll just leave this blank and we'll use the other 2 options here. So going back to our prey bonus action here, the first time, so we're just going to say for concentration, we're going to throw this in here. This is going to be 7, so every round of combat, we're going to get an extra 7 points of damage. The first round of combat, we are expecting, let's see here. We have a multi-attack of 4 attacks. We're expecting one of those to be a critical right off the bat. Let me double check something here. Double check the assassinate here. During its first turn, the Slayer has advantage on attack rolls, which we've covered. Any hit the Slayer scores against a surprised creature is a critical hit. So we're expecting all of these to hit. So we're going to go ahead and throw into our critical check here the damage amount. So we are expecting technically, it's definitely not 128. So we're going to say 32 points of damage here times 4. So 32 times 4 will give us 128. Oh no, that's right, because that's a 32. Excuse me. Working this out in my head. So this is actually supposed to be 16 times 2, or 4, or 32 times 2. Normal dice, my bad. Okay, 20 there. The damage per round is going to be 64. So we're adding in an additional 6 points of damage for the first round of combat, which is going to be an extra 5%. That's why it doesn't look like much. Although, no, technically, we would just double the damage, so I don't have to do this. So yeah, the first round of combat is just going to be doubled. So, in theory, we are just straight up doubling the multi-attack damage. I went through all that and didn't need to. Okay, so we're getting closer to that CR20 like we were hoping for. Then we go back to normal on our next rounds of combat, but we also have our legendary actions going on here. We're going to do the straight Savage Disengages for all of this and not assume in the first 3 rounds of combat we're actually going to kill something. So we're going to add in, we're going to say 7 plus the 96 here. So for every round of combat, we are adding in all of the legendary actions plus the extra damage from prey, because we can do that once. This is where everything else is going to vary, which means we're going to then put 128 here and 128 here. So if I've calculated everything correctly, then we have one heck of a nasty monster here with a CR22. You know, this thing is hitting as hard as a CR28 in theory, but has the defenses of a CR15. So this is where we get our 22 from. You know, this looks right, I would say. I'm not seeing anything else that would make me think, okay, this is off because of the whole hit point reduction and what have you. It doesn't really seem like it's too terribly off base here. So I'm going to say this is more than likely correct. We do have ourselves a CR22 and not a CR20. But here's the thing. At these levels, a CR22 isn't going to be that big of a deal. Our players are already well prepared to face a CR20, which means they are probably somewhere in between levels 10 to 15, and they could probably handle one of these easily on their own, maybe two of them. You know, we could take a look at the encounter builder here, and we'll say 4 PCs at level 12. We have ourselves a CR pool of 36. This is converting monsters to, or players to monsters, giving players a CR marker. So if we look here, players from levels 11 to 16 are worth 75% to convert of their level into a CR. So we are actually getting, what is this? Let's see here. One player is technically a CR9 at level 12. So 4 players is worth 36. We're using one monster at CR20 or 22. This is going to be a walk in the park. If we look here, we're seeing, you know, this Bhaal Slayer. Drum roll, please. If I add it in, probably not. The rim shot. We're going with a medium combat encounter here. So we could probably put in 2. And yes, this is technically a deadly encounter, but our players are getting to be like god level here at this point. So this isn't something crazy that they couldn't be able to handle. They should be able to handle at least 2 of these guys quite simply, and probably with 4 players, just steamroll them anyways because of potential. Well, no, these guys do have 4 attacks plus 3 legendary actions, so this may be challenging. I'd be curious to see how level 12 characters handle 2 of these guys at level technically 22. Alright, so that's it for the Bhaal Slayer from Minsc and Boo's Journal of Villainy. Thanks to whoever submitted that. I don't know how long ago, probably over a year by now. And yes, this was fun and interesting. So if you like what you've seen and you want to check your monsters as well, if you have any custom monsters or check some monsters I haven't covered yet, go ahead and hit up my Ko-fi page. The link will be in the description below, and get yourself this tool and have fun with it. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time with another monster.